I'm here with Danny Kapales, Assistant Director of Jonesboro Park and Rec. How are you doing today?
Doing well yourself?
Good. For a class project, we were asked to interview just someone in our future profession.
Okay.
And I have about 8 questions I'm going to go over with you. First of all, after completion of your college degree, what previous jobs led you to the position you're in now?
Well, while I was in college, I actually was working out here for John at Campbell Park. I was part of the field crew. Prior to that, I actually had worked in management within grocery stores, had insurance agencies. So I've had a lot of management in my background. And then once I decided I need to go ahead and get my accounting degree and started working here at Jomac, that's when I decided I really enjoyed Parks and Rec. So.
Okay. Why did you choose this profession, kind of going along with that last?
I think for me, go all the way back to being a teenager, and when I was in my teens in school playing football, I actually coached the Pee Wee football team at our school. And so coaching was something that I always enjoyed. I just never looked at it as being a career as far as coaching.
Okay.
But once I got into Parks and Rec and realized how much I could be involved with the youth programs and help guide coaches in the right direction, I felt like that was something for me to do. I'm really very heavy in the programs.
Okay. How long have you been working in this field?
I have been with Parks and Rec about 15 years now.
Okay. 15 years. What are the greatest challenges of your job here as assistant director?
Greatest challenges is probably finding funding to be able to do things here for the community.
What part of your job do you enjoy the most, and to go along with that, what's the least enjoyable of the job?
The most enjoyable, they both kind of go hand in hand, but my most enjoyable is actually being able to guide our coaches and our parents, and also my employees to be better at what they do and try to do things the right way. On the other side of that, the least favorable is having to deal with out of control parents, out of control coaches. That unfortunately is probably the worst thing to deal with, is when you have that in the presence of kids.
Okay. What do your daily tasks consist of as the assistant director here at Jonesboro Park?
That's a good question in the sense that it's really hard to answer. It ranges from, I might be at a building project, I might be drawing up plans for facilities. A lot of times when we design buildings, I will do a preliminary drawing, either sketch by hand or actually do it on a computer.
Okay.
And then we turn that over to usually an architect and engineers and let them go from there. I might be out digging a ditch at one point. I might be on a mower at some point. It really varies. I deal with all the finances. I deal with the planning. I deal with leading the crew. Just the other day, I took one of our supervisors and we just did a full afternoon of just going through every park, doing a walk around, and just checking, making sure everything's the way it needs to be. Okay. Here in Jonesboro, we have 22 parks, and so trying to get to all of them on a regular basis it can be tough. The other part of what I have to do is I'm the only playground safety inspector in Northeast Arkansas. So we do that so that we make sure that the playgrounds stay up to code and they're safe for the children. So with that, I actually have to go out and inspect every piece of playground equipment that we have. So.
Okay. Does your job, you kind of answer that being out daily and then going different places doing different things, but does it include any travel, and if so, how much?
It does. Obviously within town I'm traveling all the time, but outside of Jonesboro there's quite a few events I do go to. We have the Arkansas Recreation Park Convention, the National Recreation and Parks Convention. I go to both of those. Another event that I go to that I really enjoy, and I've started taking some of my program employees to, it's called NAYS. It's the National Alliance of Youth Sports. Okay. And that's where everybody in youth sports we gather, and this is actually an international congress, so it's made up of people from all over the world. Okay. And we usually meet somewhere here in the United States, and we have a week-long study session. A lot of it's just talking back and forth. A lot of we've got some professors that come in and help educate us.
Okay.
A few other things I guess we do is with the playground safety inspection. I have to do it every few years. I go in and that is that's a pretty challenging test. So I usually go for about 3 days of study. It's basically got a 70% failure rate. So you want to make sure you know what you're doing when you go into it. So I usually every couple of years I have to go back through that.
Okay.
Other than that, that's really about it on travel. Other than periodically, if we're going to build something, we'll travel around and go look at what other cities have done to make sure that we know what they've done right, we know what they've done wrong, and we make sure we build the right type of facility.
Okay. To round out this interview, I guess the last, probably most important question to me: what advice would you give to someone pursuing this profession?
Well, first off, I would make sure that while you're in school that you take finance and accounting courses, even possibly take a grant writing course.
Okay.
If you can throw any public administration courses into it, I know ASU's got a great public administration program. So if you can pick up some of those classes, along with, I know a lot of you that go into this field are sports management, but I really think there's a lot of other things that y'all can pick up in some of the other departments that will really help you out a lot.
Okay. All right, Danny Kapales, the Assistant Director at Jonesboro Park and Rec. I appreciate you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.